His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said that real compassion comes from seeing the suffering of others, and you feel a sense of responsibility. You want to do something for them. The more we care for the happiness of others, the greater is our own sense of well-being. In Buddhism, this attitude of wishing to give ultimate benefit to others as much as possible is called bodhicitta. It's the heart of Buddhist practice. Now, we all know an eye for an eye only makes the world blind. We hear this wisdom, but how can we really practice it? Buddha taught accessible methods for how to transform every heart, no matter how wounded, into one that only thinks of benefiting others. Join us as we learn how to develop this profound compassion.
At the beginning of each of our teachings, we have been setting an appropriate motivation. That motivation has been the wish to achieve enlightenment in order to be able to benefit all living beings and lead them to enlightenment as well. This intention, this wish, is actually the mind of bodhicitta and is known also as the mind of enlightenment. Now, bodhicitta is an attitude that is progressively developed step by step. And the very first step in that process of development is generating an appropriate motivation, a strong motivation for practice. And so before listening to these teachings, in your mind, make a strong determination to be able as quickly as possible to reach the state of Buddhahood, not for yourself alone, but in order to benefit all living beings.
So once you have that kind of true understanding of the nature of suffering with relation to one's own existence, then you extend that understanding, that recognition towards all other sentient beings and reflect upon their status as suffering beings, and then cultivate the wish that just as you yourself wish to attain freedom from the suffering, so too all of these sentient beings wish to be free from suffering. And so in that way you cultivate a great compassion and the wish that all sentient beings enjoy happiness, which is the freedom from suffering. That is the loving kindness. So on the basis of compassion that wishes others to be free of suffering, and loving kindness that wishes others to enjoy happiness, then you cultivate a sense of a special responsibility. Therefore, your compassion does not remain simply at the level of wish or aspiration, but rather it generates a sense of commitment and responsibility that I shall liberate all beings from suffering. And this kind of extraordinary sense of responsibility will lead to the eventual realization of bodhicitta, which is the altruistic intention, aspiring to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. The bodhicitta is like the central axle of the Mahayana path. So therefore, it is this factor of bodhicitta which determines whether or not you are within the fold or outside the fold of the Bodhisattva practitioners. So if you lack the bodhicitta, this altruistic intention, no matter how other powerful practices that you may have, such as the realization of emptiness, even direct realization of emptiness, or even nirvana that you may have attained, none of these practices become the conduct of a bodhisattva. When you have the quality of bodhicitta, realization of bodhicitta, then even a simple act of virtue, such as feeding the ants, giving food to the ants, which may seem a kind of an insignificant activity, but because of your bodhicitta motivation, this altruistic intention, even these simple acts are transformed into conditions for attainment of full enlightenment. And so in a way it is like an elixir that transforms base metals into gold.
I think answer for everything. I think that's the compassion, bodhicitta. Purpose of my life is not just to achieve happiness for myself, free myself from my own problems, sufferings. Purpose of my life is to benefit others, other sentient beings who are numberless. So I must free them from all the suffering causes and bring them to enlightenment. So when you generate this thought, this attitude of the bodhicitta, total benefit of others, so it brings so much peace, contentment, fulfilling in your heart. Makes your life so happy. So usually there's two ways to develop bodhicitta. One technique to develop bodhicitta is through 7 techniques of mind, cause, and effect. So you meditate how all the sentient beings have been your mother and the kind. If you get body, and then numberless kindness, you see, that protected one's life from dangers. The numberless kindness gave education, numberless kindness, bears so much hardship for one's own happiness. That they, when they have been one's mother, and bears, so much hardship, suffers so much, for to take care of oneself, for one's own well-being, for one's own happiness. So, like that you see. Then, so this is how you meditate in that technique, see, the mother and the kind, So then you see, you feel so very precious. So this way, when you feel everybody being mother and kind, you feel everything warm to you, see, kind of beauty. It's not talking about beauty of the body. You see, the kindness, being kind. So you see other sentient beings are suffering, like something being samsara, suffering. So wish others to be free from suffering, cause of the suffering, and you want to do that. You see. So that there's when you take the responsibility on yourself, to cause happiness to others, that's the Mahayana, the loving kindness. And this is my turn. This is my turn is to help them. So I must free them from all. You see, I will free them from all the sentient beings, with all the sentient beings without exception, from all the suffering and causes, bring them to enlightenment by myself alone. So you take the full responsibility on yourself. Then, the success of that, there's no other way except first myself to achieve enlightenment. So that when that thought rises naturally, day and night, you see, without any effort, just while you are, eating, walking, this thought naturally rises. Like the you see, mother whose child fell in the fire or drowned, you see, in the river, or you see, oceans, something like that. Then mother, while she's eating, while she's walking, all the time, constantly she think of that child to save. You see, that without any effort, just continues. So that is thought to, and you see, so like that, you see, thought to achieve enlightenment. To free the sentient beings from all the suffering causes and bring them to enlightenment. So that time the one has a realization bodhicitta. So, but without bodhicitta, we can't achieve enlightenment. So you can see now clear, without compassion, cannot achieve enlightenment yourself, and cannot enlighten. You see, cannot liberate all the sentient beings from all the sufferings and bring them to enlightenment. Cannot be profitable to the sentient beings. So therefore, it's now here the compassion is the most important thing in the